Procrastination is a multi-billion-dollar industry. You see online content farms regurgitating the same information about atomic habits, being more disciplined, getting the trackers, minimalist phone, getting a dumb phone, being more productive, always following strict schedules, rule sets, and guides. But you will notice that this actually ends up hurting you in the long term because your mind has been adapted to listen to the rule sets. So what does your mind end up doing next? It tries to find a new rule set when the old one didn't work, going from mindset to mindset. Every single day, you go through the same pain. At night or in morning, when you shower, you sit in your shower without any of the dopamine and you start to question your life. Am I on the right path? Could I be doing something better? Why has nothing worked? I've been studying this for so many years, and everything I've been told doesn't really change anything. I feel like I'm productive sometimes. I try to make a lot of effort. I put in a lot of energy and nothing has changed in my life. And here's the thing. If you want to get rid of the weed, you have to put your hands in the dirt, grab the roots and pull it out. And I'm going to teach you exactly how to do this. My name is Drew, here to help you with your purpose, get past procrastination, and to follow your passion. No matter the scientific field, psychology, neuroscience, or even quantum physics, there all has to be a fundamental thing that we do in science, which is first observation. Let's observe somebody who procrastinates a lot and see what we kind of find in their mind. After that, I'm going to give you a tangible thing that we can do together to help you get rid of this cycle altogether. When somebody is on a diet, why do they break their diet? Because there is some format of emotion or logic that compels them to break the diet. They might tell themselves with their logical mind, I haven't had a cheat day in a while, or I could probably sneak these calories in on a walk that I'm going to do later today or tomorrow, or I've been really disciplined lately. Let me reward myself. What you'll notice in these instances is that these are formatted from logic. Secondly, you might have instances where you break your diet from emotional needs. If I'm trying to work on my computer and I'm trying to be really disciplined, you have random emotional needs that you feel craving to be met. You want to go eat the junk food, taste a little something sweet, go watch Netflix, indulge in pleasure, go lay down in bed, watch porn, whatever it is, you have emotional things, these cravings, these internal desires that start to arise. Let me ask you something. If you actually wore your thoughts and emotions, that means you would also be able to control them, right? Like you'd be able to control how long you are awake, how tired you felt, how long you could focus. You'd be able to control your cravings and what actions you take. But for most people, that's not actually the case. You have to go to online guides, videos, podcasts, books in order to better learn how to control this thing that we call our mind. I want you to start being very aware of something. Your mind is in control of quite a few different variables, from how you feel to how you perceive to how you think to the logic you use to the analysis to the observation to the introspection. All of these things are your mind. So like the thought you think, what you're thinking of right now, what you're going to think of next, that isn't you. And I can prove this to you. How many times have you gone through the cycle of putting in a lot of work, but by the end of it, you feel tired and you're right back on the YouTube homepage looking for a solution? Why are we addicted to looking for more information instead of actually working? I want you to think that your mind is making you go on a wild goose chase trying to find the solution because there is some magical solution out there. If only I did enough like searching into my dreams and traumas and meditation and stuff like this, if only I did enough of that stuff, then I would find the solution of what I'm avoiding. But the problem is every solution you find isn't the actual solution, because the actual solution to your procrastination is dissolving the mind's power. And the mind knows that if as long as you're on a wild goose chase, you're not actually fighting the mind itself. Your mind is telling you that it's some other thing. It's a trauma. It's something. It's like OCD, whatever it is. Your mind is trying to tell you that that is the problem instead of the mind is the problem. And so you'll realize very quickly that there's a connection between the observation of your mind and how strong your mind actually gets. And here's the solution you've been looking for. You are the observer of your thoughts. You are not the creator of your thoughts. There's a big difference. Okay, so like really think about that for a minute. Thoughts come up in your mind, and as they come up, you don't really create them. You can kind of direct them in a way, but you don't create them. You don't know where they're coming from. You're not the source of your thoughts. This is also where perceptual and traumatic issues come into play. If somebody's been cheated on before, then they have a higher bias to believe that they're going to be cheated on again, or to see small actions within a relationship as possibilities that that person is cheating on me. And so you don't actually see things objectively. And this is what makes stuff so hard, because if you're not your thoughts, then what do we do with our life? Because you are the observer of your thoughts. And here is the actual time that you can defeat your procrastination. Because as we once again said, what is procrastination? It's the logic to eat the cookie over the salad. It's the emotions you feel when you sit to work on your computer, your laptop, and you try to make the website or whatever, and you feel really tired. Or for me, if I try to make this content, then I kind of think about, oh, maybe I should have scripted it better. Maybe I should have made a script. Maybe I should have had my thumbnail ready. Maybe I should have done X, Y, and Z. All that should haves is all logic. And where does that logic come from? It's not from me. That's from my mind. And my mind is trying to make it so I do something else. My mind is trying to say, go work on the website, go work on the video script, go do something that isn't the important thing. And so you can try to be extremely dopamine detox, be super motivated, super disciplined. But here is another big issue with all that. When somebody tries to be disciplined or they make a business with a goal, there's an issue. The issue is that the mind has a logic basis, like fundamental thing that it's trying to achieve. And that is a goal. People who watch motivational compilations or David Goggins running, they're trying to become disciplined so that way they can achieve something. So your brain has an objective thing that it's constantly trying to achieve. As it tries to achieve this, it tries to find shortcuts because it deems that this goal is the most important thing to you. Your brain says if our goal is to achieve this thing, then there's a more efficient path we could do. Let's switch businesses. Let's switch niches. Let's go do something else completely different. And then things will be easier for us. What you see in like addiction psychotherapy or even, alcoholics, what they do is they go to AA meetings. These people will go and they'll sit in the chair and they'll talk to the group of people and they will say, oh, I'm Drew. I haven't drank in 30 years, but I'm an alcoholic. And you kind of sit there and you wonder, why are they identifying themselves with something that like they haven't done in a while? Like it's been 30 years. You're obviously not an alcoholic. So why are you identifying yourself with that? And what I believe the true answer here is because you need to become aware of what your mind is trying to do. If you start to play into the logical factor of things, you'll see that your mind tries to lead you saying that I'm not an alcoholic. And what happens when somebody says I'm not an alcoholic? They go back to alcohol because defining yourself as not an alcoholic also means that you have the capability of tolerating alcohol with no negative effects. In fact, people who are in like a dissolutional state where they're like, oh, I don't have a problem. They're like hitting a vape or they're drinking or they're taking drugs. I don't have a problem. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not a drug user. These are the people who are in the worst situation. They are most addicted because their brain is using logic against them to convince them that what they are doing isn't bad. So that way the mind can keep getting what it wants. What you got to understand is your mind uses logic in order to make you procrastinate. And so this is what we're going to kind of start to do. Think of yourself as the observer of your thoughts. Sit down. Make sure you don't have anything important to do. You're relaxed. I wouldn't even want you to eat. Just kind of like stare at a wall. Pull out like a piece of paper, a pen, and do something very simple. Observe your thoughts. The best thing that the devil has ever done is convince society that it doesn't exist. And start thinking of your logical or emotional mind as the devil. If you've been struggling for years, never making progress, always wanting something, but never making the change, watching thousands of hours of content, you need to do this. So think of your logics, the thoughts that come up in your mind as the devil. and write down what they're trying to tell you to do. Think about the observation part of you as you. Yes, you exist. It's just like you are the observer of thoughts, though. And you'll start to see, like, here's what I wrote down when I first did this. So, firstly, I started to think, oh, well, this is kind of useless. Like, if I'm sitting here, I'm just kind of wasting time. And so, those are the thoughts I was having. So, I was like, okay, maybe I should go on my phone. And then I was like, oh, but this is really kind of good for me. So, like, maybe I should text my friend about this realization I've had that these thoughts are bad for me. Texting your friend is doing something that isn't the important thing. That is procrastination. That's avoiding sitting down and meditating. Nextly, I thought, what if I should clean my setup here? Maybe I should like write some notes down of what I'm thinking about. Maybe I should do this thing and this thing. And all these thoughts that are coming up as I sat down to meditate, these are all thoughts that are trying to make it so I do anything but meditate. They're trying to get me to get up, go to my phone, go to my computer, grab a piece of paper. And all these things that I wrote down here, from texting a friend to writing a book to figuring out solutions or cleaning my desk, these are all taking me away from sitting down and doing the thing, which in this case was meditation. Getting over procrastination and the discipline and all this that you hear about online, it isn't about the habit tracker. It isn't about finding the mindset or setting the goals, because when you do that, you are avoiding doing the thing. Your mind says, if only I had the right goals, then I would be motivated. Your mind says, if only I had the right habit tracker, then I would be motivated. Do you see what I'm saying? Your mind says, if only things were more optimal, if only things were more like efficient, then I would be motivated. Then this wouldn't be so hard. And so chasing motivation is one of the worst things you can do, because you train your mind to go after efficiencies. So your mind is constantly going to try to find more efficiencies in life. It's going to go from business to business, relationship to relationship. Even right now, okay, I'm trying to talk to you, explain what I know in my mind. And my mind starts to say, oh, man, editing this video is going to take a while. I'm at like 30 minutes of recording. I have to cut it all down. It's going to be a lot of effort. How about we go play video games and give up on this? Because if I play video games right now, that means when tomorrow comes around, I'll be like, do I really want to edit the video? If I edit the video, I'm going to have to start from completely neutral. I haven't worked on it at all. Maybe it'd be better if I just try to record again. If I record again, then maybe I could speak in a more proficient manner and it'd be less editing. So you see what my mind is trying to do right here? It is suggesting that there is a more efficient path that has less effort. And it knows how I can achieve that by playing video games. Not because my dopamine is messed up or anything. I've been meditating for like an hour before this. My dopamine isn't messed up. What is messed up is that editing takes a lot of effort, and I know I'm not really going to like it, so my mind is trying to find a way to avoid it. The way that I know of how to avoid it is by recording another video without ever editing my old video that I recorded. And so what it's trying to do is skip forward time, play video games, and then I can avoid the pain of actually producing the content, facing the criticism, and going through the effort of editing. So you see, my mind is coming up with logic, and it's trying to use this logic to make it so I avoid the outcome, and I get stuck in a fun loop of recording and having a happy old day. But if you are watching this right now, I did not fall for the trick. And I hope sincerely that you don't fall for your own mental tricks either. I ask you one thing: if you liked our conversation, share this with somebody who you think could use it. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one.